We are going to be doing just a quick little core kind of movement flow, core moves. So for this workout today, you will need, if you have a yoga block, grab that. If you don't have a yoga block at your house, you could also grab a small pillow or if you have like a small ball, like maybe from a bar class you took that one time, those kind of things would work as well. But something that's a little bit more rigid, so boxes and cans are not ideal for this one, but something to work with here today. And so we're gonna kind of dive right into it today since I only have about 25 minutes with you guys. So to begin, we're gonna actually start on our knees, start on your shins, and come sit up nice and tall. So we'll start with just a big inhale, lifting arms high overhead, reaching, and then exhale, sit back down onto your heels. Inhale, both arms all the way up, left arm comes down, right arm reaches all the way over, pressing that right hip down towards your heel so you're getting into the side. And then inhale, both arms back up. Exhale, right arm comes down, left arm reaches over, left hip presses down towards your left foot. And then inhale back to center. Come back up onto your shins, sitting up tall, reaching up high towards the sky. Cactus your arms, chest goes towards the ceiling. Squeeze your buns, belly presses back towards your spine. Inhale, come back up, have a seat. Exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale, back up to center. One more time. Exhale, twist towards the left. This time, if you'd like to place your right hand on your left thigh, you may. If you'd like to bring your left hand around the back, you certainly can. And then inhale, both arms high. Exhale, twist again towards the right, placing your left hand on your right thigh, right hand around the back. And then inhale back up to center. Hands come down to the earth. Come down to tabletop. Keep that block nearby. We'll be using it in just a minute or two. Inhale, gaze lifts, tailbone lifts, belly drops. Exhale, really pull that belly button to and through your spine, opening up that space behind your shoulders. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, belly pulls back through your spine, finding that big stretch. And then finding neutral tabletop. So neutral tabletop, making sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your knees. Your belly is pulled in towards your spine sort of comfortably. So we're not super aggressive with it, and we're definitely not sinking into it. We want to pull up and out, pressing your arms or pressing your hands into the ground so that you've got strong arms, strong and controlled. Take a big inhale, opposite arm, opposite leg, reach out. I've got my left leg, my right hand. Take a quick peek underneath. Are my toes and knees pointing towards the ground? We want to make sure that our hips stay square rather than turn out. Take a big inhale, exhale, pull your elbow back like cactus and bring your knee towards same elbow. Inhale to find length. Exhale, cactus arm, bend that knee towards elbow. Inhale, find length. One more time, cactus arm, knee to elbow. Inhale to find length. Exhale, place your right hand to the ground, place your left foot to the ground, step back to high plank. High plank, belly draws in towards your spine and up towards your rib cage. Pelvic floor is engaged. Gaze is out just beyond your fingertips. So we're not looking at our hands, we're definitely not looking at our toes, and we're not looking all the way to the wall in front of us, keeping that spine nice and neutral. Take one more breath, and then set both knees to the earth. Inhale, right leg goes long, left arm reaches forward. Find your strength here. Take a big breath in. Exhale, elbow bends, knee bends. Inhale, find length. Exhale, elbow bends, knee bends. Inhale, find length. One more time. Elbow bends, knee bends. Inhale, find length. Set your hand down. Set your toes down. Step your toes back. Find your strong high plank. Breathe. Take one more big breath. Shift forward onto your tippy toes. Chaturanga all the way to the earth. Untuck your toes. Forearms to the ground. Elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Tops of the feet press into the earth. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Sternum comes forward through your shoulders. Breathe. Belly pulls towards your spine, glutes squeeze, tops of the feet press into the earth, knees pull up, engage. So this is not a time to hang. We're not hanging out here. We're pulling up and in. We're getting super strong. And then we're tucking our toes, pressing our forearms into the ground, so beginning to lift your belly up off the earth. Core stays nice and strong. Bring it up, forearm plank. Breathe. Walk your feet in. Dolphin pose. Knees stay bent. You do not need to straighten your knees. Working towards bringing those hips over our shoulders. Bend your knees deeply. Press your palms into the ground. Lift both forearms up at the same time, downward facing dog. Are we having fun yet? Belly pulls towards your spine. Breathe. Bend your knees, lift your heels, walk up to the front of your mat. Ragdoll pose. Bend your knees deeply. Grab your forearms, sway side to side or forward and back. Find some movement that works for you, allowing your upper back to just kind of begin to release. And then let go of any binds you have with your hands. Shake your head no, and shake your head yes. And shake your head no one more time because it's good practice for all of us. And then bend your knees even more deeply, rise all the way up to stand. Hands to heart center, pause. Release your hands. Grab your block and come onto your back body. Block is going to come between your knees, so narrowest setting. If you have a pillow, just make sure that pillow is on its narrowest setting as well. If you have a firmer pillow, that would be ideal, but if not, it's not a big deal. So whatever you have available, even a book would work. Right here between your thighs. Roll onto your back body. So to begin, we're gonna open up the front body a little bit. When we talk about core classes, so often we are so interested in that six pack, that kind of visible abdominal set of muscles. But really, when we talk about the core in terms of function, we're talking about an entire 360 degrees, all the way from our hips up to our ribs. So really working with this whole section of the body. It's called, or referred to sometimes as the core canister, with the bottom of it being our pelvic floor and the top of it being our diaphragm. So to begin, we'll start with that back side of that core canister. So bringing our heels close to our hips. They don't have to be all the way within reach of your fingertips, not a big deal. Squeeze your thighs towards the midline and then inhale to press your hips up just a little bit. This is not a high press, okay? This is not your biggest bridge. This is gonna be a small bridge. Tuck your tailbone under. Press your ribs to the ground, your shoulder blades press to the ground. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips a little higher. You should feel the abdominal muscles in between your bony hip points kind of start to light up. Belly draws towards your spine. Squeeze your buns a little bit more. Drag your heels back towards your shoulders. See if that can get your hips a tiny bit higher while still pressing your shoulder blades into the ground. Breathe. One more breath. Backs of the legs should feel lit up. Lower core should feel lit up. Exhale, come back down. Bring your knees to stack over your hips. Feet are flexed, 90-degree angles, okay? Draw your belly button down towards your spine, then make sure we still have a 90-degree angle here, because a lot of times we draw our belly in and our knees come in. So we want to draw our belly in. Knees stay right where they are. Hands come to the tops of your thighs. Press your hands into your thighs. Press your thighs back into your hands. Head, neck, and shoulders stay on the ground. Take a big inhale. Exhale, press. And then continue to find your breath here. Please remember that everything I offer is optional except the breath. It's the only thing that you have to keep doing. Breathe in, breathe out. We have one more breath. Make sure that belly is pulled down towards your spine. And then go ahead and release. Bring your feet back to the earth. This time press up to whatever bridge feels right for you. Maybe you like that low, super squeezed in bridge. Maybe you prefer the freedom of coming up nice and high, rolling one shoulder underneath at a time, finding a bind beneath, and getting a big stretch for the front side of your body. Your choice. Either way, that block stays between your thighs. Take one more breath. And then release your shoulders, release your hands. If you had that bind, come all the way down. This time we hold on to that block. Bring both legs all the way up. Block is gonna come to your right thigh. Now you can do it either way, whatever works for you. Left hand comes behind your head. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Connect your left elbow to that block on that right thigh. Hold it here. Left leg comes to hover. Right leg lifts, or left leg lifts. Left leg goes to hover. Left leg lifts. Left to hover. And to lift. Press that knee or that elbow into that block. Lifting and lowering. Wobbling is okay. Wobbling happens. Press, press, press. We have two more. Down and up. Bring both knees into your chest. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to twirl around so I'm not facing behind you. Y'all can stay right where you are. Both legs come up high again. Block goes onto your left leg. Right hand comes behind your head. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Twist. Right elbow, left thigh. Left hand can come out long. Press, you guys. This isn't enough to just let it kind of hang here. Press it in. Pull it in. So you're using those abdominal muscles to hold on to things. Take it down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. Stay with it. You're breathing, right? Two more. I don't know, I lost count. It's fine. Now it's the last one. All right, bring both knees into your chest. Set the block to the side. We don't need it right this moment. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little wiggle around. And then we will rock forward and back several times. Ideally, we're working our way all the way up to Malasana squat. Maybe we can do it without hands. Woo! Maybe you need to use some hands. Super okay either way. Do what works for you, okay? Here in Malasana squat, wiggle it out a little. Coming onto one toe, other toe, move it around. Bring your hands to the earth. Option to shoot straight back to a high plank or to step back to a high plank. Doesn't matter. Either way, we're all gonna find high plank. Okay, options, my friends. You may bring a knee to the ground or not. We're all gonna come to side plank on our right stuff. So you can bring your right knee to the earth or keep your right toe up, but we're all coming to side plank. Keeping that left foot anchored. You're either stacked or staggered. Your choice. Stay here. Lift your hips a little higher. Maybe reach your arms towards the front of your mat or your arm towards the front of the mat. Take it back up and over. One more time, reach it forward. Take it back up. Come back to your high plank. Come down to your forearms. Don't worry, we'll do the other side. We'll get there. Draw your belly towards your spine. Shift forward onto your tippy toes. Come back to neutral. Draw your belly up and in and through. Lift your hips. Squeeze your thighs towards the midline. Take it back to neutral plank. shift forward, come back, lift your hips, belly draws through your spine, neutral, shift forward, back, belly, neutral. One more time, shift forward and back, lift it, and take it down. Come to your knees, come to tabletop. One round of cat-cow. And then step back. Left side plank. Option to keep your left knee up or bring your left knee down. Either way, we all open up to that side plank. Breathe. Lift your hips a little higher. Reach your right arm towards the top of your mat. Bring it back towards the ceiling. Towards the top of the mat, lift those hips a little higher. Back to the ceiling. Come back to high plank. Come back to forearm plank. Tap your right toes out off your mat. Back to center. Left toes out off your mat. Back to center. Right toes. Center. Left. Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. One more each side. Come to your knees. Come to your hands. One round of cat-cow. Cross your ankles. Come up and over onto your back body. This time bring a block with you. And then we'll press our hips up just high enough to get the block on its lowest setting beneath your sacrum, okay? Option to work with a block, option to work with a pillow underneath you. Anything that'll elevate your hips just a little bit off the ground. You could truly stick a book or even 2 books, or maybe a really big book, underneath your hips. That would work fine. But like I said before, a pillow would work great. If you have a ball from a bar class, that's gonna work awesome. It actually gives a little less stability, so it's kind of a nice bonus. All right, bring both feet all the way up. Hang on to the block, the pillow, whatever you've got underneath you. I like to wrap my fingers around it just for a little bit of extra stability. Draw your belly in towards your spine and then up towards your rib cage so that you're engaged before you even start to move. Think about locking your legs together. We're gonna bring our legs down, 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 down. You're going as far as you are able to go. Maybe you end here. Maybe you're able to get those legs in line with the block. Either way, you're bringing them back up. If you're like, wow, that's a lot on my low back, you're gonna work with bent knees, taking your feet as low as you can and then bringing them back up. If you're still like, gosh, my low back, too much, we're taking one leg at a time, okay? Working at your level, finding what feels right for you. We're still going. I hope you guys are still going. If you've taken my classes, you know, you just keep going while I'm talking. It's fine. We're all gonna be all right. Keep going here. Down and up. We have 2 more of these at whatever pace you're working at. We have 1 more of these. Beautiful. Bring those knees or legs up. Set your feet back to the ground. 1 more time, little baby bridge pose. Finding what feels right for you. Just pressing up and off that block. Breathe. Set your block to the side. Bring your hips back to the ground. And again, rolling forward and back till we find Malasana squat. See if you can get yourself enough momentum that you can get up without coming up and off the ground or without using hands. It's a trick for sure. All right, wiggle it out a little bit. Just a little. All right, hands plant to the ground, step back to high plank. Again, draw your belly up and in towards your spine. We're gonna come down to forearms. Draw your belly button all the way in towards your spine. We'll begin to drop our hips, sort of going opposite to the way we went before. And then untuck your toes when you get there. Sphinx pose. Pull your chest through your shoulders, lifting your sternum towards the wall in front of you, squeezing your glutes, knees pull up, breathe. Tuck your toes. Press your forearms into the ground, begin to lift your belly up and off the earth, come back to low plank. Come to your knees. Come up onto your shins. Palms press in to your low back. Shoulders squeeze towards the midline. Going into a variation of Ustrasana, just to stretch out the front of the body. If you have full camel and you're feeling like, I'm in, I got it, take it. It's totally fine. The rest of you can stay here with me. Pressing your hands into your low back, supporting your sacrum, breathing, lifting your sternum, pulling your elbows back towards the midline, opening up your chest, squeeze your glutes, belly pulls towards your spine, so we're stretching out the front body, but we're not just letting it go. Take one more big breath here. Exhale, come back to tabletop. One round of cat-cow, inhaling to find that length. Exhaling, pulling your belly button towards your spine. And finding neutral. One more time, tuck your toes. Press back up towards downward facing dog. Walking your heels towards the ground one at a time. Pressing your belly back towards your thighs. And then coming back to high plank, rolling forward into that high plank. Come down to your forearms, one at a time, with control. Belly comes back down to the ground slowly with control. Belly pulls into your spine the entire time. When your hips hit the ground, your toes untuck. Sternum pulls forward through. And then come all the way down to the ground. Fingertips off your mat. Inhale to lift, cobra. Exhale, come back down. One more time, inhale to lift, cobra. Exhale, come back down. Hands come in closer to your shoulders. Press back to child's pose. Taking your knees out wide if that feels like the right choice. If you'd like to get a little bit more stretch under your arms, putting your fingertips onto the ground can help you get a little bit more, or you can even grab that block and get your arms elevated a little bit. Get a little deeper into the space underneath your arms. Breathe. And take one more breath there in child's pose. And then come back up to tabletop. And we'll step back to high plank one more time. I promise we're almost done. Walk your hands back to your feet. Ragdoll, take your feet wide, bend your knees, grab your elbows. And then bring your hands back to the earth. Sit yourself down. Roll yourself out long onto the mat behind you. Take your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Take a little gentle side-to-side movement, windshield wipering your legs. And then allowing your legs to settle over to the left side of the mat. Your next inhale brings you back up to center. And then exhale takes you over to the right side. And your next inhale takes you back to center. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Rock yourself forward and back. Find your way up to a comfortable seat. Inhale to lift both arms high overhead. Hands gather above and draw down to heart center. I know it was a short one, but thank you guys so much for being here with me. Namaste.